Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I want to welcome you back to How to Be a Boss channel. And today I want to talk to you about the 5 C's that Asian women are demanding of their men. If you have ever been to Asia or one of the countries there, you'll know that life is a lot harsher than in the Western world. Countries such as the United Kingdom and United States of America are welfare states, which means that if you don't have a job, then you can claim to receive financial support. In the UK and America, this is known as benefits. But to have this system requires people from those countries to pay higher rates of tax, sometimes up to 45% for the highest earners. In Asia, this type of system doesn't exist, which means that people pay much lower taxes. Some of the top earners are on only 20%. But this also means that if you don't have a job, then you're not going to receive any help from the government whatsoever. This means that education, which can lead to a good paying job, career and money, have become major cornerstones in the lives of people from Asia, as everything revolves around the almighty buck over there. If you have the money, then life is much easier in Asia. And with that money and success, obviously comes girls and women. Thus, in Asia, many men who don't have the financial status have coined the phrase, no money, no honey. Okay, so you probably want to know right now, what are these 5 C's that women from Asia are after? And you probably thought in your head, I'm going to guess what they are. But what I'm going to tell you is they all revolve around money. And I'm going to divulge that information to you right now. So number 1 of the 5 C's is cash. You might have heard of stories where some wealthy people tend to carry cash around rather than put the money in their bank accounts. Some of this is due to people wanting to appear wealthy to others. Some businesses may prefer to pay for transactions in cash, and some of it is due to procuring their money from illegal means, such as drug dealings or other cash-in-hand ventures, that they don't want to put their money in the bank, otherwise they might alert the authorities. Thus, some Asian girls look at men who have wads of cash in their wallet, or even in their house, or even paying for items as a sign that he is financially secure, and that makes the guy particularly attractive to them. There was a time when I was personally in Hong Kong, and I was wearing shorts with no pockets, and I took money out of the ATM, and I decided to give the money to the girl I was seeing at the time, as she had a purse on her to keep the money safe. We chose a restaurant for dinner, and once we finished the meal, we asked for the bill, and in those countries, the waitress always goes to the man to pay the bill, because feminism hasn't really hit over in Asia yet. I told the waitress that the girl I was with was going to pay for the meal, and she looked at me in a state of shock and wonderment, and also condemnation, as in the Asian culture, men are supposed to pay for everything. In Asia, people are quick to judge you if you don't fit in with the norms. Number 2 of the C's is a credit card. Credit cards are a sign of a good paying career, which gives a man financial security to the women of Asia. The more credit cards you have, the more you potentially can spend on her, when she tries to convince you to go shopping, to buy her clothes and gifts which are in your best interests. I've been on dates where Asian women are waiting for meals or drinks to be paid for them, and then they try and assess what card you use to pay the bill. I know a few wealthy friends in Singapore and the UK who bank with UOB, which is a Singapore bank, HSBC, and Coots. To have a UOB privileged banking card in Singapore, you need to have $350,000 in your account. To have a HSBC Premier banking card, you need to have at least 50,000 in savings in the bank or earn at least 75k a year from your job. To have a Coots banking card, you need to have 500,000 in the bank in cash or have 5 million in assets. These friends have told me that they specifically try and steer conversations away from money and finance, which obviously pushes Asian girls away. But the moment they pay with one of these types of cards, which shows them how much money that they have when they look it up online, girls suddenly do a complete 360 and engage these men like never before. So the third C is a condominium. Okay, a condominium is a luxury apartment in Asia. Some condominiums are smaller in size and stature, but they'll have a swimming pool and a gym on site and other wealthy neighbors. It's another sign of a good career and financial success that Asian women so desire. Unlike the Western world, most Asian children live at home with their parents until they get married, which could be in their mid-20s or even their 30s. When Asian children live at home, they're expected to give money to their parents and pay their own bills at the same time, which makes moving out a really hard prospect. Therefore, any person who has their own apartment in Asia in their early 20s is given significant respect, as they are living in freedom, especially amongst women. If you have your own apartment, then a lot of Asian women will come running to you, as they want to try and escape their own living arrangements with their family. The fourth C is country club membership. In Asia, reputation is seen as such an important factor in everyday life, and especially for business. Everyone wants to be wearing the latest fashion and to be in the coolest crowds, which is where a country club membership becomes crucial. Country club membership in Singapore ranges from 43,000 upwards, which means they are not cheap, and again shows Asian women financial success to be able to afford such a membership. Country clubs are generally where the elite and more wealthy members of society go, and by being here it gives Asian women a chance to social climb and give themselves more opportunity in the future with the contacts they can make. The fifth and final C is a car. Cars are extremely expensive over in Asia. The reason why is that the governments are trying to curb the car population by driving prices upwards and making cars more unaffordable. In Western societies, it's the exact opposite. However, this policy in Asia doesn't seem to have a drastic impact on the car population in Asia. For example, a car in Asia can be 5 to 10 times the price you would pay for it in the Western world, as the governments there really want to keep cars off the road. What does this mean? Well, if you have a car, then you have wealth and status to satisfy an Asian woman, as you're bucking the system by being able to afford a car and not having to use public transport. A survey run by researchers at University of Wales Institute in Cardiff claims it shows that women rate a man higher if he is behind the wheels of a fancy motor rather than an old banger. The university team showed women pictures of the same man sitting in two cars, a 100,000 silver Bentley Continental and a battered Ford Fiesta. The women aged between 21 to 40 picked the man sitting in the Bentley ahead of the same man in the Ford. In conclusion, all these 5 C's that Asian women want all revolve around status and money. If you do enter a relationship with an Asian woman, just keep that in the back of your mind. And at the start of the dating phase, gently inquire about her views on money, career, and status. If you're not a wealthy guy or don't believe in a guy paying for 100% of all of women's bills, then you're better off pulling the chute and not dating an Asian woman. However, I would like to preface this and say not all Asian women are like this. So don't reject a girl, especially if she's Asian, before you get to know her.